Gentlemen, how are we? Ladies and gentlemen, listeners, welcome to the Leg Up Australia podcast.
Can he do it? The gloves are off. They go toe to toe, blow for blow. He's clear. His big heart pounding. Yes! There's history to try to make it 3 in a row. That is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm back.
The good wood
The good one.
is back.
Well, there's the title.
There's the title locked in.
Oh, sheesh. What's happening?
Just pumped for more Group 1 racing.
Very exciting.
I think it's, what are we, Thursday? So we're like 8 sleeps away from the first Group 1 in Brisbane.
Which means 4 sleeps for you because you
Correct.
get too excited.
That's right.
As soon as those fields come out on Wednesday.
Yeah, there won't be much sleep happening. Great time of year.
For any long-term listeners of this podcast, I'm notorious for bagging South Australia, this little period of the calendar where all eyes head south.
Yep.
But been good.
It's been their best carnival I can
For
remember.
sure. I don't know.
Yep.
People will be able to get in the comments and tell us the reason why, they changed this up or they changed that up. But
They've boosted prize money, so I think they're all $1 million.
Prize money helps.
Money talks.
Money talks.
Money does talk.
Makes the horses walk
Mm-hmm.
faster and better horses walk down to Adelaide to compete.
Yep.
They don't. They go on.
Well,
flights.
I think James McDonald probably the perfect example of
Yeah.
that. He'd never ridden in Adelaide
Yeah.
before, and he went down there to ride in
Yeah.
the Oaks. He's not back. He hasn't been back, but that's a good example. I think that you've got one of the world's biggest names in horse racing at your carnival. Big win.
And we now move to the standalone. The standalone Hawkesbury was great last week. No, wrong. I take that back.
Shocking.
So bad.
Awful.
Why can't they fix that?
I don't know.
The photo, even that
bad
photo
camera
on
angle.
what did us in the end? Why were we crying in the office
Full
again?
for Cindy. Dead heat.
We were very upset.
Win
about
and
that.
whinge, I believe we call that. But
Even that photo. What was it taken on? Nokia 5110.
yeah, something.
That's a phone. You won't know what that is. That phone's older than you.
Is it like a little brick?
Yeah,
Maybe.
sort of. It's the one that some people would know.
Someone
that.
will know.
Yeah, Hawkesbury, shocking. I did get some footage from UPC Showdown come through of one of the rooms you can hire, one of the hospitality rooms there. They've done a bit of work there.
Really?
Oh, looked phenomenal, but fix the I heard someone
There's
on
a
radio
lot of,
saying about even where you always were in a bad position, even in members of where the finish line was and
Yeah.
what you can see. They haven't upgraded that. Still the same.
That's my pet peeve on a racetrack is where if you're standing on the fence
Yeah.
right, to get closer to the action,
Yeah.
can I see what's happening? Rocky was the same for the Archer. If you were in GA and at Rocky, the way it's set out, the mounting yard is right on the winning post.
Right.
And then you've got the members grandstand or the members bar kind of thing above the mounting yard. So
Yeah.
the members are in line with the winning post, but half the members in the new extensions past the post. So you can't see that.
So only a very small amount of people are.
Right on the post. But then the big screen, which is about the size of this photo frame, it's past the post. So if you're in GA,
Oh, you're further away
you're
from
further
that.
away. So you're standing at the 200 on the fence and the horses are gone and you can't see a big screen, you can't see a television. So I don't like that about Rocky, but Hawkesbury sounds like a bit the
I've
same.
never ever heard
I've
you
never
say
can.
anything negative about
Yeah,
Rocky.
well, I'm yet to back a winner in the Archer, so I'm off the race at the
Yeah,
moment.
can it, move it to
Forget
somewhere
it.
else.
Yeah. But Hawkesbury, that camera angle, my point is you want the customer to be able to consume the sport and the races the best way possible. And we didn't seem to get that at Hawkesbury for their standalone. So hopefully Gosford this
In
weekend.
saying that, those guys, that video I did see, and it'll be up on UPC socials now, of the guy that, as the race ran, he'd realised he'd won 21 grand. I do realise now that they're in a beautiful box. Full service bar, everything like that.
That
He
helps.
still had to look at the screen.
Yeah.
Looking at it now, he's like, Still not sure.
Not sure.
So yes, so the standalone. Hopefully we see the standalone meeting at Gosford this weekend, and obviously the Hollindale, the Gold Coast being moved to Sunny Coast. We'll get into that in a little bit, but we've gone from tears to excitement here in the Leg Up office because we have had Genetic Freak jump out.
Yep,
lovely, and we've had the Big Pungo trial this morning.
Yes.
And it was beautiful.
It was pretty to watch.
It was a sight to see.
Yeah.
So we were nominated for Gatton over 860. You boys weren't a fan of that. Campo realised that, he thought it could be just an easy kill up front, or it could be, but the 860 is a bit of a mess. Yep. You get that barrier.
Bit of a different beast.
Where are we? Where were we? We've got
13 we drew.
Okay.
Bit ugly.
Scratch ran in a trial this morning and looked very, very good. So that's exciting.
That is exciting
for us and the owners.
Fastest last 600 metres of the morning, that trial.
Right.
It wasn't the fastest overall time, but it was like second or third quickest. So that was always positive signs. But what I loved about it was the fact we beat a horse called Chatty Lady.
Yeah.
She's sort of black type, fringe black type, and I think she's going straight to a listed race on Doomben 10,000 Day next Saturday. So that'll be a great guide to see what she can do and measure up. If she's going to a listed race and runs well, Pungo goes to a benchmark 70.
Yeah.
Oh, look out.
I don't want to get too excited, but
No.
I was on calls this morning, so I was waiting to get off these meetings so I could watch the trial, and Blake came to my door, see if I could come in, and I usually say no because I'm on a call. He came straight in and he said, "Group horse."
Group horse. Well,
I said, I hadn't seen the trial yet. He said, "Don't bother. Group horse."
I said to Benny, let's go to the Chief De Beers instead of a benchmark 70. Listed race.
When's that next Saturday?
No, the week after, Doomben Cup Day.
Right, we're going to be,
Yeah. Not
this Saturday.
Saturday week. Fortnight tomorrow.
Fortnight
Saturday.
Fortnight Saturday. Yeah. Okay. No, we're ready to go now. We're going to go now.
Oh, it'd be like 4 days after where we were going to run.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
We need to go. We're ready to roll.
win.
I'm worried about that trial probably should have been at a race.
Well, potentially.
Oh.
I was just thinking the whole time, we're not doing a good job of hiding this horse.
No. Any price is going to be absolutely.
We're going to be $1.80 wherever we go.
But yes, look, we've got the good, bad, and ugly right now brought to you by UPC Showdown. The good, for me, Jamie Kah winning her home state Group 1. She's been looking for it for a while after all the adversity that she's gone through in the past 18 months. That was very, very good to see. You got a bad for us?
Yeah, the bad for me, unfortunately, the Gold Coast, they've lost their first big night meeting coming up in a couple of weeks. They're meant to have $1 million 2-year-old Magic Millions race.
They don't have the Hollindale this week.
They don't have the Hollindale this week, so it's not a great look. Navesh has now gone back to Sydney for, I think, a wagering sort of role.
We'll get into that in a second.
Left the track high and dry, or not dry
not
at all. But disappointing news. But the ugly, mate.
We got jockeys betting. We got jockeys going to other jockeys saying, "Can you ride a horse a different way or a certain way?" Other than how it should have been ridden. That's a big story that probably didn't get enough coverage, so that's the ugly for me. But yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, I want to start on that ugly because I want to ask you the question. We'll put it out to the listeners. Should jockeys be able to bet on horses they're riding?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so. No. They got enough pressure on them. If they do that, you bring in external. Let's start with ugly. Let's go backwards. Ugly, bad. Yeah, gotcha. Let's start with ugly because and for anyone that's not across this, I'll give you kind of. I won't give you the what do you call it? I won't give you the RV findings or whatever they're being charged with.
You're not going to be citing any.
No, I won't be. Hold on, I need to bring it up now. But
while you're looking,
I don't think they should be able to. What do you think?
I don't think they should be able to because it creates too much of a bit of a grey area. But the one sort of the side of the argument that I can see is if I know that a jockey has backed a horse that he or she is riding,
yes,
then I'm going, well, they're going to be trying extra hard to win.
Yes.
Right? So I'm going, but
Yep.
they'd have to, I think they'd have to declare it. You know, James McDonald, he'd have to notify stewards and say, hello, Chief Steward, I have had $1,000 on Zaki to win the Hollandale Stakes today. Like, and then stewards would have to put that out. So I'd be going, oh, sweet, I like Zaki. J-Max had 1,000 on it. I might double my bet. But then in saying that, then there becomes the other grey area where what's stopping... I don't want to be throwing like jockeys under the bus here. This is all this is all hypothetical. Like, what's stopping James Orman then going to James McDonald and saying, "Hey James, can I send you 5,000 to have on Zaki, and you put it on, and you're riding that horse, but then you fix me up afterwards." So like, I don't.
Yeah, what you're saying is it's too easily manipulated.
Yes,
and that's the reason why we can't have it.
Correct.
That's why we can't have any betting.
Put a pen straight through.
Yeah, and what's come out has been. It's not just the I've had a couple of bets or anything like that. We've had Lewis German and Michael Poi essentially have bets or make comments to other jockeys on behalf of someone else who didn't essentially. I think he did have the bets, but when you've got jockeys trying to. I'll use that word again, manipulate the race or manipulate the outcome due to a wager. Yeah. It's really bad. And the good thing about it is there's no probably grey area here. They can really come down and rule with quite a hard hitting sentence because it wasn't like I didn't know or I was betting on my wife's account or I made a mistake or I just had a couple of bucks here. Like some in the past I feel like have been very minor things. Well, it looks like something out of boredom.
The one that comes to mind, and obvious, like there wasn't any huge sort of penalties handed down here, but it might have been 12 months ago now, and I think it was Jaden Lloyd.
Yeah,
might have had a bet on his brother's, like Zach, on his Sportsbet account.
Yeah, but
they're allowed to bet on greyhounds, and on Sportsbet there's the promotion that like if one leg fails in a three leg multi, you get your money back in a bonus bet. So from my understanding, Jaden had like a $12 multi, 2 greyhounds, but he wanted to get the third leg in there. So he's just gone next to go and put in like a New Zealand horse race to get that thing. And like he's just gone, well, I didn't even think like, and $12 bet, whatever. Like, so that one's sort of not really an issue, but it still is. In a way, but like there's a difference between an honest mistake and
you don't get slammed. Like that was just a bit stupid. Yeah. This was colluded.
Yes.
This was the word is corruption. Yeah. Like it is. It is. You're trying to do behaviour that is that will corrupt the integrity of that race.
Yeah.
Of the betting. Like if I'm sitting there, like let's look at that scenario you just said about how like if James Orman went to J-Mac and said, have this. If you know that they're betting on that, suddenly, like, what about if I have had a bet earlier in the week and put my heart in on something that comes out and, you realise that, oh, okay, well, now the big bet by that jockey on his ride is this, and no one ever saw that. So why has he had that big bet? What does he know? Us, we lose out. The punters lose out, and we've always got to remember that without us, there's no nothing.
No.
There's no racing. Right. There isn't. Like without turnover, a lot of those guys don't have jobs. And that's why I think RV will come through and rule with quite a heavy hand, and so they should.
Very quickly on that, rugby league players and athletes, they're not allowed to bet on their sport, their code. I never thought they were allowed to play like NRL fantasy or Supercoach either, because it's obviously free to play.
Yeah.
But there's a big prize pool at the end of it. But like willingly on the coverage the other night of the Roosters game, they interviewed Brandon Smith, the Cheese, after the game, and he's made a comment like, Oh, Taylor May's been into me all week because I sold him. I flicked him in my Supercoach side and I bought in Angus. Like, Angus scored 2 tries anyway, so he got heaps of points for me. But I'm like, I didn't think you were allowed to play. And like,
I suppose because of the prize pool, like money, that it's a giveaway.
Unless there's some sort of deal where like the Daily Telegraph and Supercoach are like, hey boys, like get in a team. You're not eligible to win, but like you can go in leagues and possibly. It's a bit of a promoter. But anyway,
who knows?
That's kind of a different tangent, but along the same sort of lines.
Yeah, it is. But like in all honesty, like how many rugby league players are there? Professional rugby league players.
Well, that's right.
In Australia, like
in that top level, like you've got 30 to a squad. So
so let's say
500.
600 let's say 600-700. It's probably the same in Aussie rules.
Probably a bit more,
probably more. Like it'd be a hard gig to keep them away from gambling. And current AFL players, current NRL players aren't allowed to engage in any deals with bookmakers. They aren't allowed to bet on their sport. Like it'd be bloody hard in this day and age being a young bloke that can't have a pump with his mates and things like that.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of them get into the racing because it is a little outlet for that. So, they can't – surely they couldn't take Supercoach away from them. Yeah. It's a bit of –
let the boys play.
Let them play. Let them play. What's our bad again?
The Gold Coast.
Yeah, look, I feel for the Gold Coast. I feel like they've been left with their dick in their hands. Navesh has gone down to Sydney for a wagering a partners role, which I thought Navesh was like a greenskeeper.
I was picturing Navesh with his gardening gloves on.
I thought this guy must have gone to uni and got like a master's in agriculture or horticulture.
He's gone and done his master's.
Did you honestly think that?
Yeah, I thought he was a track curator. I didn't think Navesh is rolling in with his business degree.
No,
I thought he was.
So the wool has definitely been pulled over.
Ag and horticulture at uni, then gone and done a TAFE course in track curating or something.
Clockwise
like that.
And anti-clockwise grass growing.
I tell you what, Matthew Zemet, I'm calling him out here.
Yeah,
trying to blame us Queenslanders for the state of our tracks.
Oh, give it a rest.
Navesh is your man.
Yeah.
He's come here. He's ruined our track. And now he's pissed off back to New South Wales.
I agree.
Back with the rest of his.
It's actually ridiculous.
You can have him.
So, Magic Millions, we had the watering issue where the irrigation was left on.
Mm-hmm. He was hitting the board.
The board, let's
not put a sprinkler there or a board there.
Hold on. Gold Coast doesn't have many major days.
No.
Magic Millions is by far the one. You know, if I was the president of the GC Turf Club, and I might be one day.
But you could very well
But you know what I would say to the track manager? You fucking sleep on the track the whole week leading up and the night before. You know what? Magic Millions Day, like after race 1, go home and go to bed.
Yeah.
But up until that day, that 24, 48 hours beforehand, don't sleep.
Yeah.
You got a deadline and you've got to be there every single minute. I know that to a lot of you guys might sound ridiculous, but I don't know if you've run your own business or like you've gotten to a grand final or a deadline that means more to you than anything else throughout the year. You throw everything you can at it. And I know irrigation hitting a sign seems like something that shouldn't happen, but it did and it does. And I would tell you it would happen there's a million tracks across Australia with sponsorship and boarding around it. Number one. Number two, the poly, it took longer for him to get the lights in. The poly was there in the day, but that was because they were relying on Polytech to get there or Polytrack to get there, and they did their job. They have had construction and everything moving at a fast pace. They got the track to a point where they could have their first day on grass, which was delayed as well, I believe.
Yeah.
They announce on the 24th of this month, I might have my dates wrong, that they're going to have
Last month?
the night racing.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like it's gone. I don't know if that's confirmed.
I believe it is. I believe
Hollandale has to move to Sunny Coast. That's had fucking 1,400 millimetres of rain this week.
Even that's like they're talking potentially in doubt.
So where do they move it to?
Monday. That's
Bow Desert.
That's sort of like the reality.
Bow Desert, Hollandale Stakes Day.
Ipswich or Toowoomba, yeah.
I think there's a lot of fingers being pointed at Gold Coast Turf Club, and they shouldn't be.
Yep.
I think that they have been left with a bit of a mess, that they brought the top guy into – they sat there 2 years ago and said, hey, listen, the next 24 months or, that period midway through 23 to midway through 24 is the most important period possibly in the club's history.
Yeah.
Let's go get him. Let's go get the biggest dog in this grass-growing game.
Yes.
Navesh, are you in? They would have thrown so much money at him too to get that going.
Yeah. I've got a suggestion for them.
Okay.
I think the Gold Coast should reach out to Costa and Jamie Jury from Better Homes and Gardens.
Michael Costa.
No. Well, they should get Michael Costa back. But, what's his last name? He's got the curly
hair.
He won a Logie, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think
Gold Coast, this is where the celebrities
are.
are.
Real sort of greenskeeper guy, like a real hands-on
and the celebrity
gardening guru.
It's not a look.
Why can't Costa do it? Costa can do everything else.
It brings in that Better Homes and Garden audience.
That's right. We could have Joanna Griggs
100%.
hosting. We could have Joanna on the podcast.
Like they could do like woodworking workshops out the front with that guy with the curly hair.
Yep. The guy with the bald head that does, what's his name? Big tall guy with the baldy head. That's
Tom.
Tom?
Tom.
He does a bit of the cooking.
I think he is a Gold Coast guy, actually.
He could be. Yeah. Paul Burt, he was at the
Paul
cafe
Burt,
the other day.
100%.
Like he's the sort of person he could be fishing in the lake on the infield, like teaching people how to fish during a race day.
I think this is the crossover that racing didn't know.
Yeah, I think Gold Coast Turf Club cross with Better Homes and Gardens is on in 2024.
That is actually a brilliant idea. That is how you turn a bad situation into a good situation. That is lemonades from lemons.
Correct. Yes.
I want that in an email by the end of the day.
Yeah, that could
off to Brett Cook and the
Channel
team.
7 and
yeah, just the collab of the century.
Yeah.
And good. Look, we talk about Jamie Kah a lot on this show. We are big Jamie fans. It was great to see that. It was great to see the emotion. You could see that a lot of people around racing and media were really invested in her getting that Group 1. She has, she's made a lot of little slip-ups. I did see on Instagram today.
Yes.
And I don't know if this was a great – like if I was Jamie's publicist, I would be saying this is not something you should be involved in. Yep. But I did see Jamie on her Instagram promoting a Airbnb in Bali.
Well, we all need to let loose. Let rip sometimes, don't we?
Oh, bless.
She's probably there right now. Oh, no, she's riding Saturday. But, after the carnival.
She's not coming to Queensland?
She'll be coming to Queensland.
Yeah, I should have a little rest.
Yeah.
Have that weekend off, then back
That's
up
where I
for
met
10,000.
her. After Stradbroke at some rooftop bar.
You met her?
Yeah.
And you said, oh, Nick, Lloyd.
Yeah, we had a big photo with Jamie.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
She a legend?
She was good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Didn't say yeah. She was just like, fucking leave me alone. 15 pests.
Yeah.
15 drunk blokes.
How did you get into this bar?
Absolute pests.
It was Jamie Kah and Tony Gollan.
Gollan would have been happy to see you.
Oh, big boss man. TJ loves us. But yeah, no, it was very good to see her get her first Group 1 on home soil. I think that's what, you look at a lot of people in the racing game, like you can go away and you can win a Group 1 or, you can win races. But I think getting that sort of win at home, that always means that little bit extra. I noticed like Tyler Schiller, for instance, he's won Group 1 races, like he's won 3 or 4 the last 12, 18 months, but he won the Wagga Cup, and I don't want to get it wrong from where he's from, but he's from somewhere around that region.
Oh, there's not a lot around there. He's from Wagga, just say that.
Yeah, somewhere there. But you could tell it meant a lot to him to win a Wagga Cup. Same
with him taking out the Hawkesbury Cup. Was he win the Hawkesbury Cup, or was it one of the gold races at Hawkesbury? Because that's where he lives now. So he's within like a 2-day period or whatever it was.
Yeah. He's gone bang, bang.
Yeah, in his old home and his new home.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this week's race.
I am very humbly asking if you could chip in $5, $10, or even $25.
And what races are we going to see this weekend with Sunny Coast and Gosford currently on heavy 100s?
Yes.
I know Sunny Coast has absolutely hammered it. I was up there Thursday last week at the Australia Zoo, the day it started to rain. And
yes. It hasn't stopped since.
No, it hasn't. And I I just spoke to someone in Sydney, and he just said that it's pissing down up at Gosford because they were looking. Actually, it was the guys from UPC because they've got to look at. They have to have 8 races to go ahead for the showdown.
I might have heard or read that potential that Gosford goes to Rose Hill. Isn't
but it's running in Sydney too.
Well, yeah,
so
but Rose Hill might just be able to handle
yeah,
it a
it's
little
exactly,
bit more.
yeah.
Like, hasn't raced there for a couple of weeks.
Good chance Rose doesn't get abandoned if they send it there.
Yes.
So this week we've got the standalone meeting at Gosford, which is the main headline act is the Coast.
Yes.
We've got the Hollandale Stakes to the Gold Coast that's moved to the Sunshine Coast. Mm-hmm. And then we have the Goodwood. Mm-hmm. They're our top 3 races, aren't they?
Yeah.
Something else, isn't there? There's got to be something.
Nothing really in Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
Caulfield, you're headlined by the Selangor Turf Club Benchmark 100.
Oof. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Deep dive. That's its own separate show.
That'll be out tomorrow. Okay, so let's. What do you say?
Hot with the Goodwood, the Group 1.
Yeah, let's start straight off the bat, and we see the Pretender, Amelia's Jewel, blinkers on.
Mm-hmm. Last ever run for Simon Miller.
Could be its last ever run ever. People are going to give up on this horse soon.
Yeah, she's dead to me already.
Oh,
she's never been alive in my
420 currently. Mm-hmm. Top of the market. Benedetta $5, Oscar's Fortune $5.50, IME $7, Johnny Rocker $9, your horse Skybird $12. Rest of the market falls in under that, and Amelia's Jewel 420 opened at $3.50, I believe, and how?
Yeah. If what I will say to her fans and her loyal followers,
and if one's listening right now and he doesn't,
one of you is left,
runs down the stairs right now, is listening to this.
What I will say is you're an idiot. But if she's going to win a Group 1, a race like the Goodwood, is probably like her sort of chance. If she's as good as what everyone else seems to think,
she's got to get it over 1,200 metres.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I'm not convinced. I'm not sold on her. And like a horse like Oscar's Fortune meets her 3 kilos better from the Quokka and was only beaten he got beat 1.2 by Overpass. Amelia's Jewel got beat 1. So he's only going to turn 0.2 of a length around on Amelia's Jewel and gets 3 kilos off her. So I would, if I was wanted to be with the the Perth form, I'd want to be with Oscar's Fortune, the 3-year-old William Pike on board myself. But I don't want to be with the Perth form. Pikey's gone over to ride Oscar. Yeah, so that's
He doesn't go anywhere without. He doesn't really.
Like when he came to Brisbane a couple of years ago,
went to the Gold Coast, but trust me, there was a few little.
She's a belter and the JJ Atkins to win.
Oh, we remember that.
Yeah, I hated that.
Well, Pikey doesn't do anything for free, and I think he had a few other gigs on the side. A few little cashies for the Pike man.
Yes.
I don't know. You're right. Like that Quokka form is all we can go off for those 2 horses.
Well, if Overpass was here, he'd be $2.50.
You think?
I reckon. Yeah.
This market's weird, isn't it? Like they started Amelia's Jewel, like I said, a lot shorter than they've already drifted her out to 4.
Yeah, she might keep
20. She'll be probably more than that elsewhere from the app I'm looking at. I don't mind Johnny Rocker.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Rocker, form in behind Imperatrice. It's gone all right. What are we looking at over there? We're going to have a good 4, or is they expecting a bit of rain? I got no clue. I haven't even looked at the weather. That's my favourite thing to do.
I think good 4.
Yeah, I don't know. Johnny Rocker's definitely definitely worth a little spec. You got good form there in Sydney. Moonee Valley, Caulfield. It's I think at $10 you've got to have a little spec. Are you with Skybird?
I am. I'm with my little birdie. My little birdie, Skybird. I've been a fan of hers since day one.
You have,
as DJC would say, since inception. Inception, whatever you want to call it. But look, she's just been a really good horse in her short career. 6 starts, 4 wins, a third. The one time she missed the placings was first up. She carried 61 kilos that day at Bendigo, got back, hit the line. It was sort of a weird old day, and she had to give those horses she was up against a lot of weight. Then she gets to Adelaide last start in the Tobin Bronze and trounces them.
Yeah.
She drops 2 kilos for that effort down to 53.5, just 53, sorry, with Bo Mertens on board. Barrier 5, she's just going to be right in that perfect spot. Lethal turn of foot. I think she can win.
Beauty. Look, let's get stuck into these next couple of races, but not 100% sure we'll be seeing them run, especially with this weather. Started pissing down here as well.
Yeah, relentless.
So
The joys of doing the form. That's what I'll say. Because, geez, it can be like...
It's tough out there.
Yeah, like it's not just as a matter of here's the horses, find which one goes fast. Lately it's been like what horse is going to like a little bit of water on the track, what's the
final field going to look like?
Who's going to get to the outside fence first? Like there's a lot of what do you call it? Probabilities and possibilities that can happen just to make this the great game so great.
Even harder.
Yeah. Because if it wasn't
hard
hard
enough to find
if it wasn't hard already, throw in a heavy 10.
Oh shit! Well, look, there's a put in take out job if the track was playing fair, and that's Tavi time.
You and BJ aligning.
Oh, is he?
He's keen.
Is he?
Yep.
I like hearing that.
Yep.
That's a Mudgee Cup horse.
Yeah, your horse.
My horse.
Your horse.
Didn't know BJ was tipping my horse. That's good to know.
Well, I was talking to him earlier and he said, yeah, I think it's immoral and it's best of the day.
Beauty. All right, let's move on to the Hollander.
That was easy.
Do you have anyone in the coast?
Blake, you're kidding yourself. Williamsburg will win this. He's been crying out for a heavy track, which he gets, unless they move the meeting. And then in that case, Tavi time. But... Look, I just thought Williamsburg, he's racing pretty well at the moment. Like, first up, he ran 5th behind Rustic Steel in the Newcastle, whatever they call it these days. It used to be the Newcastle Newmarket. Now it's like the Newcastle Stakes or something like that. And then he got beat 5.5 lengths by another Will in the Doncaster Prelude. That form's probably not too bad. And then he came up to Eagle Farm, got beat by Mighty Ulysses, who's a big player in the Hollandale. Jimmy Hendricks, Jimmy Starr. So back onto a heavy track. 8 starts in the slop, 3 wins, 3/3. I think one of them might have been in a pretty good race.
Price we got?
$8. No spoils. But the other one that I
$8 good money for some people.
Well, you shouldn't.
Don't sneeze at it.
Don't sneeze at $8. The other one that I think can run a bit of a race is Premise. For John O'Shea, Tyler Schiller.
Looking at it, yeah.
She's $11. She's just a really tiny, lightly framed little filly. And one of my good mates that used to work for O'Shea, when she came up to Brisbane for the Oaks 12 months ago, they said she just needs a wet track. So she gets her chance on a heavy track. Only had the one start on a heavy, ran 3rd earlier in her career, but she's back there today. 2 from 2 at Gosford. So
it's is it trained out at Hawkesbury, that horse?
Well, it does say it there, but John O'Shea got 2 stables. He's got one at Hawkesbury,
I don't know why I know that.
One at Randwick, doesn't he? Yes, definitely has one at Randwick. But
Tyler's in bit of form too.
Tyler's riding quite well.
Good. Well, there's 3 for you guys. Have a same race multi.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the sunny coast. What? Let's give odds on what we think this meeting will go ahead.
$1.55.
Going ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it's more likely than not, isn't it? Like that's $1.55. That's 70% chance or something.
The first race is the Leapfrogger.
The what?
The time-honoured Leapfrogger.
Leapfrogger.
Yeah.
There's a good thing in that.
Is it Ang Pao?
No.
We off Ang Pao?
We're off Ang Pao.
We backed Ang Pao like 2 weeks ago, it must have been.
Yep.
And the bet was already out.
Yep.
And I spoke to the owner of Ang Pao. I didn't know he was the owner of Ang Pao at the time.
Mm.
And like that morning, and I said, the owner of Ang Pao said, this is either a plunge or it needs to be retired.
It was a plunge, and I still think it should have been retired because it got beat. It ran good.
Actually.
Home.
It placed, didn't it?
It ran second.
Yeah.
Tajaki gave it Winburn, and Tajaki's favourite in a listed race later on in the card.
Yeah.
So you never know. That form for Tajaki could look pretty good if Ang Pao gets the job done. But
what are you liking in the Leapfrogger? Is this one you said there's a M word?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Full recognition. You're liking 50 to 1.
The Townsville horse.
Yeah.
North Queensland. No, I like Spooky Spirit.
Like that name.
Yeah.
Spooky Spirit.
He's going to be hard to beat.
That's a Kempy. We're off him today, but we'll be on him on Saturday.
We'll be on him on Saturday.
All right, let's get into this. AJ Hollandale. AD Hollandale. Hollandale Stakes. Hueta, $3.60. Kovalika, $4.20. Just Folk, $7. The Mighty Ulysses at $9. I've got no idea, so I'm not even going to have it.
I don't love the race. Usually it's just a pretty easy race because Zaki's in it, and you just say, "Yep, Zaki will win again."
Yeah.
He won.
The only time I do like Zaki's Hollandale Stakes.
Day when he's won the last 3, it's just been an absolute moral.
Has there been 3?
Yeah.
Oh right, there was 2.
No, I think it was him and. I thought there was one other horse that might have won 3. It might have even been that bloke. No,
was it?
That's Smart and Power for those that can't see.
For those of you that can't hear him pointing to the wall. I think I heard him point at Might and Power.
That one. I know he definitely won one, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe he won 2 and Zaki might have been the first to win 3 or something like that. There you go. We'll look it up and we'll let you know.
Probably won't.
Probably not.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Someone knows. Someone will know that without having to look it up.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
Kovalika.
Oh, wow.
Shock.
Knock us down with a feather, Nick.
Yeah, well, look, this horse has just been crucified by Mr. Waller and his team, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Race placement's most important thing stable can do.
You've got a horse absolutely bolting in a derby over a mile and a half.
Yeah.
And now he's been to 2,000 metres once since then, and that was in a Queen Elizabeth, like the hardest 2,000 metre race you could find.
Yeah.
He's run well. Like, he's got beat. What did he get beat? 10 lengths. So you go, okay, he's coming off a 10-length defeat. But then again, he was only like 3 lengths behind Via Sistina, Cascadian, Mr. Brightside. Like, what price any of those if they're here? Short.
Yeah, very.
Pride of Jenny, what price her if she's in this field kind of thing. So I just think back to Queensland where he's got a bloody good record. If he's not unbeaten in the Sunshine State, he's only let me rephrase.
Okay, here we go.
He's definitely lost one.
Calm
race.
down.
He's definitely lost one race in Queensland, the Doomben Cup.
Yeah.
I don't think he lost any others in his early 3-year-old season. I'm pretty sure he just came up here and went bang bang in the Grand Prix in the Eagle Way.
Yeah.
And went to the paddock, resumed, won the Queensland Guineas, 3rd in the Doomben Cup, won the Derby. So very good record in the Sunshine State. Finally sort of at a suitable trip. Drawn bad, but, he's drawn 13. He's sort of a get-back run-on horse. And this late in the afternoon, race 7, if we get that far, heavy track, I think you'll want to be coming sort of wide into the straight down the outside because there's one race that just always sticks out, and it's when Panchura won on Caloundra Cup Day a few years ago. Right down the middle of the track, under lights at the sunny coast on a heavy track. So there's certainly no disadvantage, I don't think, being wide.
That was honestly going to be my question. Like, you'd think that suits Kovalika, like late in the day, a coast like a track like Sunny Coast, a heavy 10.
It can dish up anything. It could be.
There's also a chance that just none of them making any ground anywhere.
We could get to race 4 and it could just be every single horse that stayed on the fence or led has bolted in. Yeah. And we're going, this is not going to be fun.
But like you said, like if they get that far in the day, those, inside 2 lanes will probably be like,
you'll want to be finding.
It'll be like Coachella or whatever, one of those.
Splendor in the Grass.
Yeah, exactly. So I could see the thinking can go either way.
Yeah, I just think he's. Well, I love him. We know this. This has been well publicised. Yes. But I just think he's got so much X factor, and I hope it's the sort of horse where it's starting to get like, all right, you're kind of making a bit of a fool of me now, but.
Yeah, how long can you hold on to that?
Well, 12 months.
Was it the Queensland Derby?
So I've got until June 1. So for him to sort of prove himself. If he comes out and wins a Hollandale...
Can you imagine if you're shit canning Kovalika next week, you've canned Rocky this week. Yeah. You know what'll happen the week after? I'm not even excited for the Stradbroke. Then we'll know. We have to send to the doctor.
I tell you what,
we'll have to get a vet
the
check.
fact after, I don't know if I said it out loud, but I was certainly thinking it last week that Antino, like I just gave him no hope last Saturday, and he's come from last and just like back in a big way, $5 favourite in the Stradbroke.
Yeah, hard.
Like, damn it! Like, how can I get excited? Because like last year the Stradbroke, it was think about it, and the whole way through I'm just like I'm pulling this horse's tail. Like I've missed the price early. I was like I can't be with think about it. I'm just building the book around him, and he's pulled my pants down. So, yeah, Stradbroke certainly could be wearing quite thin.
You'll have no shtick.
Yeah.
What have you got left?
Queensland Day Stakes. That's always a race that I like.
No, but I mean, like, what are you known for? At the moment, you're known for, the Rocky King, you're Kovalik, a number one fan, and Stradbroke.
Let's just say this. I will say this. Master Jamie could become the Maccabi Diva of Rockhampton. He's going for his third Rocky Cup in a row. So I've got that to hang on.
Yeah,
but it could get, like
Jamie.
I said, we could get to 14th of July if he gets beaten in that Rocky Cup.
Yeah, and
I'm out on my feet.
What do you do? Talk about cricket or something like that?
Yeah, well,
Came for the Ashes.
Storm are going well.
Yeah, it could be the right time to pick that back up.
There's not much else happening.
Racing is just dusted for you.
Yeah, but anyway.
Do we got any other races to cover? You don't want to cover anymore?
No, Rhodes will be winning the Gold Coast Cup.
Rhodes is in the Gold Coast Cup?
Yep.
Hey, go for it, I say.
Yeah, why not? Dare to dream, hey?
You didn't seem too happy when I walked in just a minute ago.
Well, look, it's just... Yeah, no, he's not.
Go for it.
He's not well placed. He's the true weight. Like, let me pull it up.
We got 2 minutes. Guys. Listen to us for 2 minutes. Okay.
All right. For those that don't know, I have shares in a horse called Rhodes that is currently 100-1 in the Gold Coast
okay.
at the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah.
He holds a nomination for the Queensland Derby, so that's where we want to get him this prep. So we need prize money to get there.
Okay.
But currently, so he's 52 kilos, a 56 raider. The top weight, Bois de Jean, 61 kilos, 103 raider. So that's 57 rating points.
Yeah.
9 kilos. So it should be about 23.5 kilos.
Okay.
It was a true weights, is what we should be carrying less than what we are.
And why do they say kilos worth length and a half?
Something like that.
Okay, so you're 50 lengths off them at the moment.
Yep. So we'll get there. But that's just Bois de Jean, like there's other horses that are much lower ratings that maybe we could beat. Like, we're coming for you, Tapple Doodle Doo.
Yeah.
We are
out
for blood. But what I thought was at least Bois de Jean last prep ran 4th in the Caulfield Cup, beaten 3.95 lengths.
Yeah.
So if we happen to beat Bois de Jean by 3.95 lengths, you could argue that we probably should have won the Caulfield Cup, which was won by without a fight. So you could then argue that we probably could have won the Melbourne Cup with Rhodes if we were there last spring.
Hell yeah, I like that.
I think that's as clear cut. Don't you reckon?
Oh, you know what?
What I will
you know me. I want to be.
You're the optimist.
But I'm not sure if I say it.
Oh, trust me, trust me. Neither do I. But the great game, hey.
Rhodes wins the Gold Coast Cup, and Pungo wins Stradbroke.
What price is he in the Queensland Derby? Oh, find your bookie, I say. That's just when you're watching the Gold Coast Cup on Saturday, punters.
Yeah.
Have your bookie with the Queensland Derby market open. Have Rhodes in your bet slip ready to press confirm, because if he's 6 lengths in front at the 100, that price it'll halve at least.
Yeah.
He'll be at least 100-1 into $51.
Yeah, and the stewards will be fucking pulling out every piece of kit they've got.
And Will Holman won't be
going on
because he'll be in the stewards' room with the please explain how this has just done that.
I have a DM of the week.
Yes, great.
Okay, so, and it was a podcast one, so it's about who you would like, living or dead, as a podcast guest, movie actor.
Movie actor.
Yeah, so you got to look for actor, actress. That's all right. They're all called actors now, Nick.
Yeah, sorry. Movie star.
Movie star. Movie. Like, so not we're a bit sporty usually.
What
So who would be a great, like if we had a podcast.
I reckon I know who you're going to say.
Who?
McConaughey.
Oh, hell.
Because we were sort of half talking about it earlier. You mentioned
I didn't even put those two together. But yeah, I thought he'd be great. He loves a punt.
Yeah.
He loves his college football.
Yep.
Movie star. Yeah, I suppose. Who would you think?
Yeah, good question. I'm a big sort of Mark Wahlberg fan.
Oh, Mark Wahlberg.
I like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
He'd be good.
I feel like you'd get a bit out of him. I reckon. I feel like it'd be kind of like that. Not awkward, but
I think he knows. I think he knows how to be one of the boys.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yep.
I think he doesn't mind parting with money for a good cause.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's a fitness freak like us.
Yeah.
So he'd be right into ice bars and things like that, all the stuff that we love.
For sure.
What time did you do your ice bath this morning?
4:45. It was brisk.
Late.
Yes.
Late, I call that.
Yes.
I'm already eating my egg whites. I'm already eating my egg whites at that time.
Done your half marathon for the day.
Mark Wahlberg would be good. Who likes spending money? I tell you, it'd be a bit of fun. Mel Gibson. Mm-hmm. Loose Mel Gibson, on the end of a... Russell Crowe would be good because he loves his sport.
Yeah.
I'm just all saying...
Dan McPherson because he was in one of those horse racing movies.
Yeah, that's Dan McPherson. That's good.
Sam Neill.
Sam Neill.
Yep.
Let us know in the comments or whatever, however you're consuming this podcast, who would be your ultimate celebrity, like, I suppose...
A-lister.
Yeah, like who would be your dinner guest, I suppose, if you're like not who you'd like to hear on the podcast, but who would you like to just...
Or you want to
sit around with the... See, we look at this podcast as just having a chat with mates. We didn't record it at this time of the day. We'd be sinking beers. But who would you like to just sit there and just shoot the shit and get on the punt with?
Yeah. You know who would be...
Throw us another one.
Adam Sandler. I reckon that'd be like...
He's basketball betting.
Yeah, he's in a few very like... Not questionable movies, but like he's been in a lot of ones that he obviously produces himself and always picks his wife to be the gorgeous woman.
He's done it well.
With his mates and
Hollywood.
And his wardrobe is just T-shirt, shorts,
he's like us.
You're at Hawaii, yeah. Like I reckon he'd be pretty funny. Imagine standing out in our garage, shooting some hoops, having a few beers with Adam Sandler.
I reckon that's the top pick.
Yeah.
I reckon you've come through with the odds on fave. I'd say Adam Sandler would be good. He was in that movie about gambling.
Yes.
Remember the gems? Rough Gems or something? Uncut Gems?
Yep.
Uncut Gems. So that was about basketball betting. So he'd be keen on that. Yeah, he'd be pretty easy going.
Yeah.
That's good take. Yeah. Good take. Guys, enjoy this weekend. Let's hope the rain stays away and we see some fantastic racing. Make sure you head over to UPC Showdown. Big winner last week with Zach Roberts out of Hawkesbury and some good footage coming out for that. And if you are going to bet this weekend, do so responsibly. Bye.
All right.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.